First, I want to recognize Congressman Russell for his work on this legislation. Since the Obama administration completed the Iran nuclear deal, Iran has taken a series of steps that I think were unanticipated by most of us. It has accelerated its missile program. It has violated the UN sanctions in doing so. It has taken an additional American hostage. It has stepped up the slaughter that's going on in Syria. Recently, we watched on television the torching of the Saudi embassy, with the authorities arriving there too late after that, and we saw the launch of a rocket within 1,500 yards of our carrier, the Truman, in the Gulf. So the situation is such that these violation of UN sanctions are coming at the same time when, in a few weeks, Iran is going to receive out of escrow tens of billions in sanctions relief. So the question here is one of pushback given the violation of the UN sanctions. Indeed, reported sanctions on Iran's missile network were just shelved. There was an intention. Congress had been notified, or the indication was that this action was going to be taken, and then a decision was made after pushback from Iran not to go forward. So, as members will recall from Secretary Kerry's testimony before us, it was not supposed to be this way. The administration told us, while pursuing a nuclear deal, that it would not let up the pressure on Iran's ballistic missile program, nor would it let up the pressure on terrorism that was supported by Iran. And that's the point here of this legislation. And it's an attempt here to hold Iran to this commitment. Before sanctions on a particular person or institution can be lifted, the President must certify that they have not done business in a way that supported Iran's ballistic missile or conventional weapons programs. After all, it's supposed to be 5 years on the conventional and 8 years on the ballistic missiles before Iran is able to go forward, according to the UN sanctions on that, nor that that individual has done business with a terrorist organization. You know, for example, the Quds forces, which Soleimani is responsible literally for assassinations outside of Iran. That's his job description. And so, connection with that, those individuals should still be on that list. Unfortunately, we now understand that some of those set for sanctions relief. We'll take an example of one of their banks. Iran's bank Mali will be given a pass for backing ballistic missile development and also, by the way, backing terrorism. And when the Treasury Department sanctioned Bank Mali back in 2007, it noted that the institution had provided banking services first to the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps and then to the Quds forces. And as we all know, the IRGC has committed acts of terrorism, gross human rights violations, and has done the missile tests that we saw very recently in violation of the UN sanctions. Bank SEPA, one of Iran's largest banks, will be another prime winner of sanctions relief in the coming days. And when that bank was designated, again, January of 2007, Treasury Under Secretary Stuart Levy at the time noted, Bank SEPA is the financial linchpin of Iran's missile procurement network, and it has actively assisted Iran's pursuit of missiles capable of carrying, in his words, weapons of mass destruction. With Iran's ballistic missile program accelerating, including a December rocket launch, again, that came within 1,500 yards of our carrier, is anyone comfortable giving what Treasury called the financial linchpin here a jackpot? To be clear, those Iranian banks and individuals not supporting terrorism, not supporting ICBMs, they can be delisted. That's the agreement. They should be delisted. But not so for those threatening our national security. That is what this legislation does, and it's the policy the administration explained to this committee as the way that the agreement was structured, the way that our conduct was supposed to be structured going forward, that frankly this legislation attempts to implement here. So I now recognize the ranking member for his remarks on the bill.